I am here to share with you 10 businesses that the Tony Elumelu Foundation will fund in 2026. These are businesses that has never missed funding since the beginning of this program in 2015 till 2025. And there is a pattern, and this pattern also reveals that these businesses will not miss funding in 2026. And I will give you 3 reasons why each of these businesses are selected every year for funding. These businesses consistently dominated the charts from 2015 till last year, and in 2026 it will also be funded. The first one is agribusinesses and agro-processing. Example of these businesses include cassava processing, rice mining, poultry farming. Note that these are not the only 3 businesses that falls within this sector or category, but these are just 3 examples that I chose to give in each of the categories. Why will TEF fund it? Let me say that I took statistics of funding of businesses that has been funded since 2015 down to 2025, and this very sector has dominated the charts. It is the largest funding sector. It also has strong job potential. One of the focus or one of the thematic areas of TEF is job creation. TEF is targeting creating a particular number of jobs at the end of each year, and that is why each time you see TEF, each time you see the announcement party of TEF, the CEO will always say they have successfully funded so number of businesses within this year and have created so number of jobs. So businesses that has the capacity of creating more jobs also have advantage of winning these grounds. Another thing is impact on food security. Africa is still seen as a continent who cannot feed herself. Yeah, and any business that promises food security, just as the agribusiness and agro-processing is doing, stand a better chance of winning. The next sector is fashion and textile. Example of businesses within this sector are sustainable fashion brands. We are talking about fashion brands that actually use worn-out materials, recyclables to produce fashion products such as tote bags, clothes, and all that. Then we also have local traditional attires, businesses that focus on the production of agbada, etibo, isiago, and other African traditional attires. I will also tell you a reason why anyway. So local textile sourcing. We also understand that most of the African countries are sourcing raw materials, textiles from Europe and other countries outside of Africa. And TEF is actually looking at substituting importation in African markets. Now let's look at why TEF will fund it. The first thing is it promotes African identity. What Mr. Tony Elumelu is focused on is how to sell African globally, and one of the things that does that perfectly is the fashion and textile industry. When you dressed in an African attire, you don't need to introduce yourself, you sell yourself. So when TEF identify a business or an idea that will tell the African story through attires, textiles, and all that, they actually embrace it. Then this sector is youth and women driven. One thing is Tony Elumelu Foundation has always given priority to women-led businesses and young people, and this is actually one of the sectors that are women and youth driven. Again, here we talk about job creation. We also understand that the fashion industry is labor intensive. We talk about design, we talk about tailoring, production, logistics, and marketing. Each of these sections actually require human capital. So it has the capacity of employing more young people, more women, and all that. So it's creating more jobs, which also aligns with TEF focus, gives this section an edge. The third thing we are looking at here is the technology-enabled services. Businesses such as agri-tech, health tech, logistics tech has high chance of being funded by this program. You have e-commerce also fall within this category. These businesses that actually transitioned traditional businesses into digital platforms, actually have or stand a high chance of being shortlisted. And so far, TEF has funded businesses within this category at a very high rate. And let us look at why TEF funds it. This is cross sector applications. Is not just limited to a particular sector. It's cut across several sectors, and it is use driven as well, and it has huge, very huge impacts as well. The next thing we talk about is the manufacturing sector. This one, it is on quote here, on a small scale, because if you're actually manufacturing in the large scale, you don't need to apply anymore. But now let's look at example of businesses within this category. We have soap and detergents, we have paint production, and we have inventions. I put it inventions because any new thing you are producing, and you need funds to move that thing from the laboratory to the market, you are eligible for this. You're eligible, and you stand a high chance of getting this funding. And we will look at why TEF funds these businesses. These businesses actually substitute importation, which is one of the very main targets of TEF. Today, Elumelu Foundation is actually looking at businesses that can produce most of these things that we import into Africa. So once you are producing any of these things, you stand high chance of winning. You are actually getting it. Then it has strong job creation potential as well. Job creation here again, and local value chain. Manufacturing actually have to deal with you cannot manufacture without human beings actually contributing to it. So job creation is one of the advantages you have within this sector. But the main focus is import substitution. Then we talk about healthcare and wellness services. We have mobile clinics, we have affordable diagnosis, and we have wellness products. Now, let me be very specific about these mobile clinics. Healthcare and this very industry generally. I have never seen anyone who apply within this industry who has not gained funding. Honestly, every other person who has applied, especially the ones I know, those who I have reviewed their businesses, particularly their business plan, or those who have applied through me, all of them has gained funding. Mobile clinics is very important when it comes to serving underserved communities. So you have to reach out to those communities who does not have the presence of healthcare or clinics and government-owned clinics or private clinics. So you are coming up with that invention of reaching out to them through mobile clinics. It is very important. Also, any wellness products, be it herbal wellness product or any product at all that you are producing locally, stand a better chance of winning you this seed capital. Why would TEF fund it? TEF look at the community impacts. TEF is driven by impacts. Even the job creation that has consistently surfaced, it is impacts. TEF is driven by impacts. So TEF first look at the community impacts, looks at the sustainable demand and underserved market. TEF has consistently given priority to health. So any businesses within this healthcare healthcare sector stand a better chance of winning. I am talking from experience and what the data I have has revealed. The next sector we are looking at is clean and renewable energy. We have solar installation, clean cook stoves, energy efficiency services. Let me talk about the clean cook stoves. Within 2016, 2015, and 2017, 2018, 2019, this clean cook stove dominated the chart, particularly in countries within East Africa. Yes, I look at the statistics and I look at it, I say, wow. Now, and these things are consistently being funded every year. Every year. So this is one of the sectors that you should not just joke with. The solar installation services also include manufacturing and production of solar bulbs, installation of solar systems at homes, and all that. It makes more sense when it also includes doing it in remote communities or underserved communities. Let us look at why TEF funds it. The first thing there is climate relevance. We've understood that Mr. Tony Elumelu has made genuine commitment towards mitigating climate change. In fact, in one of his appearances at Harvard Business School, you talked about the commitment his foundation will be making towards advancing the cause of climate action. And they have since then they embraced the Big Green program as part of his own commitment. Another thing is this very sector have high growth potential. People are talking about transitioning from the use of fossil fuel. Businesses are talking about transitioning from the use of generator and to solar. They want to power their operations with solar. So this Anthony Limele Foundation itself knows that. Another important sector is the education and skills development. This has to do with businesses that are offering vocational training, digital skills hubs, and affordable private schools. Yes, TEF fund private schools. And they also focus on businesses that are offering vocational trainings and digital skills hubs where you empower young people with digital skills that can actually help them to rely on themselves and be productive for themselves and the society. And we look at why TEF funds it. We look at youth empowerment, just as what I just said, long-term impact and sustainable revenue. Yeah, education is not for charity. You know that once there is teaching and learning, there is a guaranteed source of revenue. Then job creation and human capital development. This very sector, businesses operating within this very sector is doing similar thing to what TEF is doing. The mentorship and the training part of this program is very important to TEF, not just the funding. And when you're actually training people, you're teaching people to be self-independent and you're empowering people with the skills they need to actually survive in this very world. TEF actually appreciate that. And when we are talking about skills, if you look at the type of businesses I listed, we are talking about vocational training, we are talking about digital skills. That does not mean TEF does not also fund private schools, but private schools actually, from the data I have, are actually limited. But what we are talking about is businesses, particularly businesses operating within the digital space, that can offer skills, transformational skills to young people and women. Another thing is the waste management and recycling sector, where we talk about businesses that are recycling plastic, organic waste, and debris. Now, let me talk about the organic waste and plastic recycling. The plastic recycling, any businesses that are actually converting waste, be it plastic, organic, or any other form of waste, into something meaningful, it's actually appreciated on this program. Especially now, this very sector was not actually looked at in time past. From the data I have, these very businesses within this sector are appreciated recently, and I'm believing that in 2026 the trends will continue. And TEF is funding it because of its environmental impact, especially now that environment and climate change is almost at the lips of everyone. Then it has strong innovation appeal, which means any businesses that is converting waste to something, it's innovation in nature, and it's actually gained attention. Let us look at food and beverage processing units. This very sector has to do with flour, snacks, tomatoes, packaged spices, and other healthy food products. I will talk about tomatoes processing here in Nigeria. Tomatoes is a seasonal product, a seasonal farm produce, and within each season it's very cheap. In fact, you can get a full basket of tomato at farm gate price of 500 naira, but when it is out of season, you get it above 10,000 naira at farm gate price. That indicates that during its season we produce more than we can consume and we sell it out, but we lack the storage capacity to preserve this tomato so that it can last all year round. And even the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, MAN, has also brought out a threatening statistics that over 60% of our farm produce are lost due to post-harvest, which is not a sustainable way of going. That's why when we are out of season of a particular product, we keep on importing them. So TEF is committed to funding businesses that reduces post-harvest loss. I have seen this recently. It was not on their funded list in the early part of this program, particularly within 2015 to 2021. It was after the COVID that TEF started rechanneling their ideas, their focus to these very businesses. And this business has indicated that it has strong local market demand and also job creation and opportunities. Yes, job creation here again. Let's talk about the next thing. Finally, let's look at photography and film production. Yes, this is an important sector. Businesses within these sectors include photography studios, film productions, digital content creators. This has been funded consistently from the beginning of this program. Elumelu Entrepreneurship Program. And why TEF funds this program is the cultural impact of these businesses. These businesses has preserved African cultural heritage. The first thing is it helps us to tell our stories. And once you present that in your applications, it gives you an edge, it gives you advantage. When one of the challenges we have in Africa is we could not preserve our heritage, our cultural heritage, and we allow other people to tell our own story. So, and TEF is now investing heavily into businesses, entrepreneurs who is helping Africans tell their own story, preserving our cultural heritage. Now, I want to ask you something. What do you see? What is that thing that is consistent in the 10 business sectors that I just mentioned? You may point out to job creation, right? Okay, there are other things that are consistent, but I don't use them word to word. And in my next video, I will actually bring you 4 key things that guide TEF in selecting applicants. There are 4 key things that TEF use as standard, and that focus, they use it to judge your applications and select applicants for funding. I will bring it to you. Just subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it. If you have any questions, please use the comment section. And may I say this, if you are contacting me, please use the WhatsApp number in the description of this video.